Good evening. We're back with more Marvel Snap. Tonight starting at rank 17. And we'll see how it goes. Just going to start out with Nightcrawler. Washington, D.C., not a location I'm happy to see because I don't play any cards with no abilities except for the Hulk. And my opponent plays Uatu the Watcher. Mirror Dimension on turn 4, transform into one of the other locations. Okay. Well, I'm playing Star-Lord here to the middle location, which is my guess as to where the opponent will play something, as it is a blank location. And that is correct. So Star-Lord gets the buff. Daily Bugle, a copy of a card in my opponent's hand, which is apparently Bishop. When you play a card, this gains +1 power. And let's see, it might get to 3/4 if I'm lucky. So I don't know if that's a good play or not. Playing Bishop over like Colossus Quicksilver might have been better. I think I chose to play Bishop because I have Colossus Quicksilver. And we got another copy of Daily Bugle, and my opponent's going to snap. I've got Iron Man Hulk for turns 5 and 6 though, so I'm not going to retreat. Probably should snap myself as well. Okay, so Claw. I think you could make a better case for Claw than for Iron Man. Yeah. So do I want to play for... I think I like Claw a little bit better on the left there. Well, given my opponent's play, maybe not, because I would not have won left. So center is actually perfect. And now I should just be able to drop Hulk on middle and hope for the best. I'm actually thinking about dropping Hulk on left, I think, here. Because I'm just wondering if my opponent played something like Odin, if he would be able to take the location. Hulk gets the +3 from Washington, D.C., so he's a 15. That puts me to 20, so I'm just thinking about how my opponent might be able to buff those cards on the left if they'd be able to find 5. Usually I'll give them credit for being able to find 4, but finding 5 is tough. Could also have just dropped Hulk center. And Blue Marvel buffs all other cards with +1. So he will get the +4, but not the +5. So that will be a win. I definitely should have snapped myself. It's very conservative not to. You know, sometimes with the first game of the night, you got to get into the rhythm of things. But no problem. Let's get into another game. Turns 3, 4, and 5. No cards can be added here, okay? Atilan. After turn 3, shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 3 cards. Not one of my favorite locations. So it is important to get as much as possible. Well, you can either play for turns 1 and 2 on Miniaturized Lab or turn 6. And I don't have Hulk yet. So gonna hedge my bets a little bit there and play something on turn 2. So The play here will be Sentinel Quicksilver. And then I'm going to lose the rest of my hand after this round. And because of that, I'm thinking Colossus Quicksilver. I'd rather draw my higher cost cards later. If I added another copy of Sentinel to my hand and then it got shuffled into the deck, I would just be adding a card I don't really want to draw after this. I'd like to draw Jessica Jones, Iron Man, Claw. Ideally, like Jessica Jones, Iron Man, and Hulk would have been perfect. So I'm guessing that my opponent will play something on Washington, D.C., so Iron Man is going there. And I want to leave 2 slots open at T-Land, one for Mr. Fantastic and one for a potential Iron Man or Hulk. So my opponent plays Namor, which is not going to get the buff. He gets a +5 if he's solo. So Mr. Fantastic, Sentinel will be the play, probably. I really don't like to play the 4th slot before the final turn. It telegraphs what I'm going to do too much to my opponent. But I don't really have cards to play in both Atilan and Washington, D.C., so I am doing something I don't like to do too much here and filling up that 4th slot in kind of a weak way before turn 6. So my opponent's going to be at 18 mid, plus whatever buffs he can come up with. I've got Claw. And I'm thinking, in this case, I may not want to play Claw. I may want to play just like Hulk Sentinel to left. Or, Hulkbuster Sentinel to left. And hope for the best there. I'm only winning Washington, D.C. by 5. Well, I can move Nightcrawler. I was actually unsure if... Yeah, I was actually thinking in game, to be honest, that Claw's ongoing effect would wrap around. Like if I played it on the far right location, then it would wrap around to the miniaturized lab. I don't know why I thought that would work, but I figured I don't know if it will, and so I'll try it. I could have looked it up online, of course, but I just experimented in game and I paid the price for that. That was a silly thing to do. Part of learning, I suppose, at least for me, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So you don't wrap around with the buffs. Not sure why I thought you did. Carmitage, on reveal effects happen twice. Cards that cost 4, 5, or 6 can't be played here, so I could move Nightcrawler there if I needed to the big house. Medusa is going to be a 2/6 at Carmitage. That's pretty good. And this is going to be a limbo game. So it'll be Sentinel and Quicksilver. Sentinel will be good. Probably play multiple copies of that. So I'm going to make a play for the big house. And my opponent's got Captain America. Rocket Raccoon, that's bad. And Ironheart, that's also bad. So I did snap, but I don't really like my position that much right now. Though I do have Hulk and Iron Man. That's what I was thinking when I snapped. I was thinking Iron Man on 5, Hulk on 6. Easy, right? I was just checking to make sure Claw was ongoing and not on reveal for Karmatage, because that would change the play. Unfortunately, he is not on reveal. So we'll get Iron Man at Karmatage and Hulk on Limbo. Next round I'll probably play Claw Sentinel. Opponent fills out the big house. So it seems like Claw Sentinel is the way to go. Claw middle, Sentinel right. Should get the win. And on to the next round. So once again the big house. After each turn, give cards here +1 power. Alrighty. Be important to get things down there early. Opponent moves Nightcrawler to the big house and plays Sentinel. Your power here is granted to other locations as well, so really want to get as much power as possible on the Nexus. Also want to get as many characters as possible on Weir Island early, but probably don't want to fill it up. I'm thinking about saving a slot on the Nexus now for Iron Man, Hulk. Hopefully I will draw them. There's Hulk, so he's going to go on the Nexus as my 4th card there. Yeah, that's a much better play. Nightcrawler to the big house and get more power on the Nexus as much as possible. Slot efficiency, very important in this case. Probably could snap anytime now. Yeah, there we go. We know opponent's going to fill that 4th slot on the Nexus. It's either going to be this turn or next turn. And I guessed that it would be next turn. And I was incorrect. It was this turn, but Starforge still gets his buff. And turn 6 will just throw Hulk on the Nexus and expect to win most, if not all, of the time. Great. Up to rank 19 now. After this video, I'll do another card review of the cards that I've unlocked between ranks 10 and 20. Once I've unlocked all Pool 1 cards, I'll do a tier list of Pool 1 cards. Daily Bugle gives me Jessica Jones. You have no cards here, +1 energy, so probably won't play anything there until Hulk on turn 6. And we'll use Hulkbuster to keep 3 slots free on the right location. Versus Nightcrawler Colossus. So I'll be +1 energy over my opponent for the remainder. Probably I could snap at any time. There it goes. Namor is going to be at 10 power. But only if he's solo there. So I'm gonna guess that he's not gonna put anything on the left location. So I'll throw Star-Lord right, I think, along with... But I don't like to fill up that location, though. I could play Hulk here, but I like to save Hulk for the surprise finish. At the end, I don't want to fill up Elysium. I also don't want to play things mid. In this case, I decide I'd rather lose the energy than float the mana. Opponent's got Punisher Lizard. So Star-Lord gets his buff. With +1 energy and cards costing 1 less, you go out of cards pretty quickly. So probably Mr. Fantastic mid. And could be Ant-Man right. Or it could just be Hulk here. I think I actually thought that it was turn 6 here. Mostly because I was able to play Hulk and I'm used to only being able to play Hulk on turn 6. So I think if I'd realized it was turn 5, I probably would have played Mr. Fantastic instead. Not a great draw for my turn 6 draw. Pretty low cost card. But I'll play what's in the hand and hope for the best. My opponent could relatively easily take Elysium, depending on what he's got. That won't do it. So the games are going pretty well tonight, except for that failed experiment with Claw. On turn 6, you can move cards to this location. So not much reason to play things there before turn 6. It gives away information. I have no idea how you would pronounce this opponent's name. don't know if my opponent is actually here. Guess that means it's not a bot, right? Bots don't go out of time, as far as I know. Oscorp Tower after turn 3, all cards here swap sides. Maybe they were just thinking about whether it was worth the risk of playing. Well, if it was worth it, not the risk, but if it was worth it playing Rocket Raccoon to New York or not. Trying to get the buff on Rocket Raccoon. Angela. That is a great card. Cards here are not revealed until the game ends. Okay. Well, the cards I've already played will be. So my opponent will have a bit of an advantage there in terms of information. I would normally love to play Mr. Fantastic mid, but not with Oscorp Tower there, so that's unfortunate. I may end up playing Mr. Fantastic in a suboptimal way. Could wait and play him after turn 6. Or after turn 3, I mean. So both my opponent and I are sticking to our sides of the table. Now Mr. Fantastic can go mid. It floats 1 mana. My efficiency hasn't been that good this game. So Iron Man, Hulk probably. Iron Man to secure right. Hulk probably will go mid, though I can move cards wherever I'd like to on turn 6. So I'm down to snap as well. I'm just gonna not bother. I'll just throw Hulk mid, Iron Man right, hope for the best. Great. So that puts me up to rank 21 into the bronze ranks. After turn 4, whoever's winning here draws 2 cards. Probably would have thrown Quicksilver there if I had read that. I was playing on autopilot, but maybe not because I still wanted to dodge the Rocket Raccoon, but in this case the Rocket Raccoon also goes to the right location, so that is pretty rare, but that's unfortunate. Dream Dimension on turn 5 cards cost 1 more. Not anymore. Add 2 raptors on each side of the location. Okay. Hulkbuster's good against that. Right now the opponent's only got 1 slot left, and if I Hulkbuster mid, I will have more power and 2 slots available to win that location. Cards here have -1 power. And okay. Got a pretty good shot at winning turn Asgard and drawing 2 cards. Not going to go too hard for it. Great. So I got Claw for turn 5, Hulk for turn 6. Like my position. could potentially make a play for like center right. Center mid is fine too, I think. Opponent is in a bit of a weak spot in center. So I just drop Hulk left, hope for the best. Could easily lose on center. Looks like my opponent... Nope, that's not going to do it. So that'll put us up to rank 22. And on to another round. Bifrost. After turn 4, move all cards one location to the right. Okay. Westview. So probably Colossus will go to Westview. Mr. Fantastic to Westview. Jessica Jones. Well, Mr. Fantastic should go to the Bifrost because he's going to move one location to the right. X Mansion. RNG location. So my opponent's going to play Lizard. And let's see how RNG... See how the dice roll this time. Beast versus Nova. Okay. I'm not sure either of us gained an advantage there unless the opponent has a card that can take advantage of Nova. So I'll throw Jessica Jones right. Now I'm considering it. I was actually unsure here whether Bifrost would cause cards to wrap around. Once again, I was unclear about the whole idea of what happens to cards that are on the far right when they say do something to the far right. Of course, they do not wrap around. So now I've learned all about cards not wrapping around, buffs not wrapping around. Lessons learned. But in this case, I'm not too sad about Jessica Jones ending up on the right. I mean, that's where I wanted her to end up, so either way, it comes out to the same thing. My opponent's in a bit of a weak position because of the 3 cards on each location. I should snap here. Well, maybe my position isn't that strong. Play's gonna be Hulk somewhere. Unless I want to play Iron Man right and Yondu in center. I don't think my position's good. I actually don't think I can win. Because I can only make a strong play center or right, but not really both. And opponent only needs 6 power to win this game. 6 power on right wins the game. Well, but that's not going to do it. So it works out. And that's going to be the final game for the night. So finishing the video at rank 22. Pretty good games tonight, except for the experiments that I tried with the wraparound that does not work, which could have been avoided had I just learned a little bit more information about the game. But that's okay. Sometimes I learn best by doing. So, thank you so much for watching.